Hi, I'm Andrew Holzman. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I work at Family Tree Counseling in Carmel, Indiana. I have over 30 years experience working with individuals and couples. Calling this video The One Secret to a Happy Marriage. I don't want to keep you waiting, so I'll let you know what that is, but I want to talk about it a little bit, of course. So the one secret to a happy marriage is accepting that your partner is different than you. Now that may sound very easy to do, but I don't think it's quite as easy as that. Marriage is a developmental process that brings up in adult form all the developmental issues and lacks that we had as a child. We all have different histories, we all have different families of origin, and no matter how long you've been together, those issues will surface when there's conflict and when there are disagreements. Myself and my wife have been married over 36 years, and we still have conflict, and those conflicts are related to who we are. That's really all I'm talking about, who we are, how we were raised. It doesn't matter how long you've been together, you're still you, and you're still kind of dealing with the things that worked for you, the adaptions, and the things that didn't work for you, and the adaptions that don't work in the real world. So since the stress is a recapitulation of the developmental issues of each partner, the issues in that relationship will be very painful and be very stressful for each person. It's an externalization of the internal stresses that the person is feeling. And if you can work at accepting that you have these issues and that your way of seeing the world isn't just black and white, isn't just logical, isn't just the only way to see it, and that your partner sees a world in his or her way, also what's logical for them. They see the world and what makes sense to them. And if you can accept that their way is different, and if you can accept that your way is different, and that the issues that come up and the conflicts, stop saying issues, but the conflicts that come up are really just an externalization of these internal pains and conflicts. So people fight and argue because basically they think their logic, their way of looking at the world should be the same as their partner's. This doesn't mean that you can't have feelings, and you can't have thoughts, and you can't have issue with the way your partner does something. They're not going to do it the way you do it, so it's going to be painful. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be something because it's bringing up some conflict within yourself about the adaptation that you've made in how you deal with your pain. So what do you do with that? You can shut down and ignore it. You can fight all the time, which is exhausting. And so the therapeutic answer here is that if you have worked on yourself enough to accept that your partner is different and that you are different than each other, and you have feelings about this difference, and these feelings are coming from your family of origin, developmental pain, then maybe there's a way to talk about it. I believe there's a way to talk about it, and that's where any kind of therapeutic resolve comes in, whether you're just watching YouTube videos or you're just reading a whole slew of books that really help you, or you're in therapy, or you're in group or AA or codependency group. Then something is giving you, if you're working on yourself, then you're motivated to getting the answer here. And the answer is being real, being honest, talking about what's going on with yourself, and accepting that your partner is maybe not in the same place as you are, but hopefully encouraging them and role modeling for them that you can talk in a direct manner about what's going on with yourself. And if you can do this, and the person who you're with is, and this is right, the big if the person who you're with is amenable, is open to talking, then that's the secret to a happy marriage. It comes initially from working on yourself. It comes initially from understanding that that person is different, as opposed to being irritated or shut down by that person, but realizing that their family of origin issues, their hurt, their anger, their pain is coming not necessarily from you. You're a trigger for that, but it's coming from who they are, and being able to accept that if they love you and you love them, that you're going to be able to work on it. Now, a lot of people, I said before, if your partner is able to do it, in my experience, a lot of people jump to the conclusion that their partner is not. And I think it's a jump a lot of the time. And if you're doing work on yourself, which is the hardest work to do, then you will see most of the time fruition for that work. You will see that person come around. That person, if that person has any care for you and they're not a horrible person and they're just out to get you, and they will respond to your work. But a lot of us don't do that work, that we are stuck in the adaptions that we've created for ourselves. That is a hard one. That's the reason for therapy, to be not as stuck in these family triangles, these family issues, these family of origin enmeshments and logic that we think is logic because it's what we grew up with and what we know. And it may not necessarily be the best thing for yourself to just be someone who's always telling the other person what to do, even though it's very sweet and very caring. That's a codependent control, an indirect control. May not be the best thing to do, to just ignore it and hope it goes away, because that's going to be, in terms of long term, going to be very painful. So these are adaptions. Did your family do secrets? Did your family yell and scream all the time? How did your family handle stressors? How did your family handle conflict? If you look at this and you look at how you saw how your family did it, how you took in what your family does to resolve conflict, then that's a beginning. That's a hope in terms of maybe changing it if it didn't work for your family. If your parents got divorced, or your parents weren't happy, or you see a better way. So the secret to a happy marriage, maybe it's just more than acceptance, but that's a beginning. Acceptance is at least giving that other person a chance. And the first part of acceptance here is being able to accept yourself and work on yourself, and accept that you have, we all have, I have, you have, we all have unresolved family of origin issues that are externalized into our relationship. And if we work on those internal issues, then that changes everything. And we have more empathy for ourselves, and thereby we have more empathy for our partner. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Andrew Holzman. If you wish to reach me, Holzman2, that's Holzman 2 at Comcast.net. Also 317-457-8668.